So this is, I would say, another example of, mockery, Masonically, and, of course, the deliberate breakdown of Western society while selling this as, we've got an obligation to refugees. I mean, look, when your country's turning into a third world country based around you're no longer a priority. No, you've been told that every righteous individual out there must feel that the influx of others is to our enrichment. And yet by the day, our quality of life is going down. And in every metric, by and large. And anybody that says anything, well, they've already got you the various puppets, you could think of many, and the thing is, the witchcraft is so potent that even if you mention some of them, well, you've alienated half your subs. Oh, no, that's a step too far, Scott. But I'd still see Tommy Robertson's bought and paid for, but he's not on his own. Charlie Veach, I mean, did you look into him in the noughties? Yeah. And in the 2010s and all the rest of it. But hey, people, short attention spans. And an awful lot of, more clued up older people, well, they're no longer here. So the cycle continues of your perceived heroes, blah, 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 all the rest of it. But they never seem to mention the obvious. Well, Freemasonry, Theosophy, Humanism, the New Age movement, Eastern Star, all these things that are literally running the country at every level. Name your country. Wall to wall with the sisterhood and the brotherhood. But who are those heroes out there? Like, oh, look at what's happening just now. But they're part of the breakdown. That's what they're about. Seriously. I mean, I know I've plugged it before, and it is, well, especially the new team, the young team, an old vid, 2005, 20 years ago, yeah. Yuri Lena's The Lightbringers, the emissaries of Jabulon. And most people just don't even look into any of these things, and yet, Ireland, well, look at what our politicians are doing now, but if we vote for, but they never look at Freemasonry, seriously. Anyway, under fair use, let me play a wee bit of this. I'll leave you a link to it.
Above one of the columns outside Freemasons' Hall in London, there is a symbol of Masonic global power, the globe wrapped in a net. It is also noteworthy that the communists practiced dragging their captured enemies in huge nets, which occurred, for instance, in 1940 in the Baltic states.
I mean, it's worth a look, yeah? Because it is all connected. Seriously. Who would allow Western nations to get to such an extent or such a state that more by the day the norm is, well, in this article, 22-inch rat as big as a dog. Well, remember, occultists do things on multiple levels. The WEF doesn't want you having dogs either, because they know an awful lot of Muslims, for example, aren't huge fans of dogs. Seriously. So, especially when you've got, sitting in hotels, the length and breadth of, places like the UK, I would argue, basically a UN army and everything but name at the moment. And when things kick off, all of a sudden these comfortably looked after people will be, motivated to, take you places. That's where the ghost cities, and that's for the lucky ones apparently, in China or have been built for the last X amount of years, and not only there, but, as our countries are turned to shit, nobody seems to give a shite about the causes, the real causes. I mean, they keep saying, oh, look at these invaders, but who's not only allowing them, but demonising everybody else who's not. I mean, it's a complex subject. I'm not saying everybody that's come across here on a dinghy or otherwise is a potential UN troop as things kick off, but as I said, even if you look into the last few decades and things like, what was it, Rex 84 in the 80s, and so many other scenarios. I even think of, what was it, the author James Herbert, The Rats. It's still yet again Masonic mockery of some dystopian nightmare based around things getting out of hand, blah, blah, blah. But how did we get there? Seriously. I mean, let's be honest, Western nations have had sanitary aspects well and truly covered for well over 100 years and beyond. Confidently, yeah? Seriously. Even the introduction of things like, sinks in houses, yeah? Indoor toilets, yeah? A grasp of a population to be cleanly about oneself and so many more things, yeah? This never used to be a thing in the UK for quite literally many, many, many decades. The fact that this exists is because it's being allowed in so many different ways. And it is part and parcel of the breakdown, not just the physicality, the infrastructure of the UK, but the mentality, the mindset, the character. Anyway, 5 hours ago I put, you no longer have to go abroad to see what a third world country looks like, and all by design. Seriously. It's always I could do a better job because apparently people need to be entertained, but holy shit, are you not looking at the subject matter? Are you not but entertained? Seriously, we're not talking fiction here. This is reality. Anyway, your thoughts, your views, a thumb up, a share, a sub, and I'll speak to you soon.